ALCS back again, back-to-back years. We've made it this far. We're trying to get even further. Again, a date with potentially the Dodgers and the Braves looms, but we do have to take care of business and take on the Texas Rangers. This is what their lineup is looking like. That is Seattle. The Rangers, led by Wyatt Langford, who right now is their best player overall. Wise, he has been a guy who you look at him on paper and is like, yeah, he's real good, but you can still see there's a level to go up here. 790 OPS, which is a career high. However, just 19 home runs, did have 46 doubles this year, 19 steals. Like, these are all really good numbers and all-star caliber numbers, which I believe he was an all-star. Yep, he was an all-star this year. But like I said, with all these stats, it feels like there is a level to still achieve with him, the former catcher, now outfielder. He is going to be very scary. Ezekiel Duran taking away from Marcus Semien, who he has fallen off a cliff. Duran 286 in the postseason, 253 in the regular season. Corey Seager had a down year, just OPSing 780, which is the first time since his first season in Texas. And other than that, the first time since his third season in the league, which he got hurt and didn't really play much of. So an uncharacteristic year for Corey Seager. He might be on the way down soon. Josh Young, really good against lefties, and obviously our best pitcher is a lefty, so it'll be very interesting to see. He's kind of been an every other year guy. First year, second year, good. Third year, fourth year, really good. Fifth year, Sixth year has been pretty all right, at least. Jake Berger, he didn't have a great regular season, OPSing 714. It's kind of the thread that we are seeing, the commonality. It's like the regular season was just okay offensively for these guys, but they continued to play very, very, very well. Kind of gives vibes of our team, as no one really on the team had a standout offensive season. I don't think really anyone had an OPS over 800. However, and the one switch they make is Josh Smith against lefties in DH, and Jake Berger drops as Evan Carter goes to the bench against lefties, which makes sense. I think the one saving grace for them, however, has been their pitching rotation, just like us. It's Atlanta. Offense has been okay. Offense has been good, but it's the pitching staff that has gotten them to where they need to be. Kumar Rocker, who I think we'll see in Game 1 here, 4.04 ERA, okay in his first real true season starting. Dylan Cease has been incredible, 2.96 ERA, a 2.97 last year. That we tried to get. Strikeout numbers have been in an okay spot, but does have a shoulder pull. Maybe we don't see him in this series. Zach Gallen, he was the Cy Young winner last year, did not have a great season this year, a real regression, ERA that's like 3 more runs over last year. Still was an all-star. It wasn't an all-star this year, but had the best season of his career by far last year. He was okay this year. Cody Bradford, he was pretty good in 33 starts, a 3.54 ERA. And Dane Dunning, he was solid in 28 starts as well. Darren McCoffin, I believe, he didn't play this year and really only has gotten 1 out in the major leagues in the last 3 seasons, but is going to be on the roster here. Jack Leiter, he as well has been but just playing sparingly, only 45 career innings for the former number 2 overall pick. Same year that we got Marcelo Meyer, by the way, so thank you for that. But 2.35 ERA in 7 2/3 innings. I don't really think there's much to go off there. Nate Eovaldi starting to regress, but is one of the best postseason pitchers we've seen recently. 2.71 ERA, mostly out of the bullpen. Cole Winn, he also 88 games out of the bullpen, a 3.38 ERA. Austin Adams, he wasn't the best. Did play for us in 2025 for a little bit, where he was okay. Not really good this year with Texas, and it's probably those walk numbers. Yeah, 39 walks. More walks than runs given up, and he gave up like 30-something runs. So I guess it's not exactly a 1-for-1 there. But let's have good stats somewhere else. We've got to be patient with him. Robert Garcia. We start getting to their high leverage arms. Really good this year, really good last year, really good the year before that. Has been really good after they traded him. I think this was the get in the Nate Lowe trade. Carlos Estevez, former closer with the Royals, or at least was supposed to be their closer until Lucas Erceg happened. But a 3 ERA the last 2 seasons. He has been very solid. And then Matt Strom, former Red Sox. Who remembers the 2022 Matt Strom experiment with the Boston Red Sox? I forget. He was bouncing around for a bit. Had a real nice stint with the Phillies and is having a real nice stint with the Rangers, where he has eclipsed 50 saves last year, 44 saves this year. All right, let's jump into things. It's going to be probably Garrett Crochet on the mound against Kumar Rocker, or unless they make any switches. We will see you for the ALCS starting right now. Another beautiful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. You know what that means? It is playoff time. A new round, the ALCS here, this time against the Texas Rangers. 85 wins, I believe, is what we said earlier on. Yeah, this is a good team, though. They have some really good starting pitching, including 2 starting pitchers we try to go after in the Season 1 off-season, including Dylan Cease and Zach Gallen. They scooped up Cease and turned right around and got Gallen. Gallen out-dueled Crochet for the Cy Young last year. This year, Crochet stayed consistent, and Gallen did not have the best of years, but we're not here to talk about what could have been, what has been. We're talking about what is right now. What is right now is a 100-win team against an 85-win team. And that 100-win team is trying to go out there and get back to the World Series. The Rangers trying to return to the World Series for the first time since, 2022? 2023? What year was that? The year they played the Diamondbacks. Was that 23? Was that 22? I don't know. I think that was 22. Either way, Sox, Rangers, ready to go here in Fenway Park, full of Fenway's most faithful. We took on the Yankees. We swept their bum asses, and now we are in this 7-game set, first to 4. Crochet on the mound in a complete game. Not quite a shutout. Did he give up 2 runs, but had 11 strikeouts, did not walk a single batter, and only allowed 8 base runners all night against the Yankees. And here he is against the Rangers. Got the first guy of the day out. Wyatt Langford did not hit a leadoff home run against Garrett Crochet. Everyone clap it up. Ezekiel Duran does single up through the middle, and the throw comes into Rogers and is the first runner on here with 1 out in the first. Texas, like we mentioned, Tito and Dave Roberts, 2 of the most beloved players or people in Red Sox history, as Corey Seager goes down swinging. Then Josh Young, really good against lefties, as he will now work with a runner on second base after Duran swipes the bag on Connor Wong, who had an excellent season for us. Young trying to strike him out, and we do. Circle change, was ahead of it, and Crochet does get the base hit, but does strike out 2 in the process, getting the crowd fired up as we keep the Rangers off of the board, even though they did have a threat to score with the runner on second base. Game 1 starter for the Texas Rangers. Believe it's going to be Dylan Cease. I lied. It's Kumar Rocker. Kumar Rocker only went 4 innings his first time out in the postseason. A 2.25 ERA performance and 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. A guy that we can go get to. Does have the first 2 guys down, 1-2. Rafael Devers a 1-2 count. He will be 3. Fastball that was in the zone, well in the zone, just no trigger pulled by Devers. Maybe looking off speed with the 1-2 count, but when the ball starts inside, it's going to be a fastball, and Rocker, the highly touted prospect, now okay starting pitcher, is on the board with a strikeout. Pick things up in the top of the 3rd with Alejandro Kirk getting on base with a single back up the middle. He's a tricky out most of the time, and thorn in our side after going from the Toronto Blue Jays to Texas Rangers. And you know how I said Wyatt Langford didn't hit a leadoff home run? That's correct. He proceeds to clear the monster and terrorize those at the cask as he goes homer in his second at-bat. And this was an absolute tater. I don't know what it is. I think it's like the fourth time in this series we have seen Wyatt Langford hit a home run off Garrett Crochet. We're doing the math here. This is, I think, episode 32. I think at least 3. 11% of the time that a video comes out, he's hitting a home run, which is wild. Corey Seager bailed out after Bregman can't field that one cleanly. Hopefully this will not come back to bite us. Will it come back to bite us? We have Josh Young up now, who is excellent against left-handed pitching, and he will pop it up harmlessly. But as we threw 3 innings of our pitching work, Crochet does have like 56, 57 pitches thrown so far, so he's almost averaging 20 pitches per inning, and no bueno. We're still looking for our first hit, and it's Wyatt Langford, the stud, for the Rangers, giving them their first runs. In the bottom of the third, Ceddanne Rafaela, again, trying to be our first hit of the ball game. And yeah, he hit it well. Ceddanne Rafaela on the juice this postseason. You see those stats in 429 this postseason. That's his third home run, 441 feet, dead central, gets Fenway back on its feet. Ceddanne Rafaela, an absolute shot. Yeah. Pimp it, big fella. Look at that. Just teed up, middle fastball. Hit it on the screws. That's a hard place to hit in Fenway Park. Jarren Duran, 3-2 count. To keep the inning alive, he will strike out on the slider. Just missed it. Timed it up well. Just didn't make contact. But Ceddanne Rafaela gets us our first hit and our first run in one swing of the bat. It is 2-1 Rangers as we enter the 4th inning. Look at that. That was sexy. And in the top of the 4th, Adolis Garcia. He's going to spray one that Roman Anthony is going to track down, but drops it. Anthony had it tracked down. It was not an easy play with all that range out there, but still something he should have came down with. He beat the ball to the spot, but just popped out of his glove. And they're going to actually rule that a double, which I find fascinating. Also, why the hell are these people outside of my door doing yard work right now? I'm going to have to pause for a second. Apologies. I'm trying to get this video done. This is the only time I can do it, and obviously we have some people doing some yard work in our complex. Roman Anthony gets a second crack at it. This time he gloves it, and that will do it. Again, apologies for the noise if you hear some in the background. It is what it is. It is what it is. However, yeah, they gave that Roman Anthony miscue a hit. I disagree, but I don't know what it is. Tristan Casas absolutely ropes one, and it's right in the triangle. Keep in mind this play right here. Keep in mind this play. The salute. Keep in mind that play. Still keep it 4-1 in terms of hits, 2-1 in terms of score, and the Rangers are trying to steal Game 1 against Boston. Here's how both pitchers have worked so far. Both 5 strikeouts. Crochet a couple more hits in the extra run, but for the most part, pretty similar outings for our ace, and they're like number 3 or 4. Marcelo Meyer is going to track it down. That will end the 5th inning. Crochet again getting up there in pitches. We'll see how long we push him to go, but until his arm falls off in the playoffs, we are going to have him continue to work. Carter Wong 0 for 1 with a flyout. He will lead us off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 41 pitches for Kumar Rocker. He's been very efficient and leaves this one over the middle, as middle as you can get, and Wong is going to bounce that off the green. He's going to slide into second base ahead of the throw, and first pitch of the 5th inning goes for a double for Connor Wong. All right, setting the table. Already 1 down the inning, and Brendan Rodgers is going to be asked to get Wong home, and he will take a close sinker. I mean a close sinker, and he will draw a walk. That is one of his skills. Already 10 pitches thrown in this inning, and we're going to ask Marcelo Meyer, who missed a good chunk of the year with a wrist injury, and that wrist looking just fine. Other way, splits the outfielders, bangs up against the monster. 1 run scores. Rodgers not the fleetest of foot. He will stay put at third base. And Marcelo Meyer ties this ball game up, and you're just seeing the makings of a superstar, man. You really are. And every year, every swing, it just gets a little better. And Marcelo Meyer is in there with a double. So Don Raffaello will then be asked, hey, can you bring another run in? You've already brought in one, and not quite. Does hit it hard, or not quite hard, but just out in front of it. And with Rogers' speed and that ball not being super deep in the left field, we are going to hold him at second base. Jaron Duran, 0 for 2, strikeout, flyout on his day. Struck out last time up. Can you come through? I'm hitting 167 this postseason. Does get a fastball in the zone. Timed it up well, but just rolled it over second base. So we do score the run. Leadoff double, then a walk, then this double by Marcelo Meyer to bring in Wong. But Strand 2 in scoring position with 1 out. Not the best, but again, we tie this game at least. Crochet back out there for the 6th. Young, another punch out for Josh Young, at least his second. Both with changeups in similar spots. The 7th on the day for Crochet. Josh H. Smith, even though he's a lefty, he's in their lineup against lefties. Just hits it better than the other platoon they have going on. And Casas is there. As we are through 6, it's probably it for Crochet, who's nearing 100 pitches. Got the bullpen going. They're well rested after being off for about a week. Let's get this dub. Rafael Devers, 0 for 2, sprays it the other way, and with the shift on, plenty of space, he will continue to run. By the time Langford picks it up, already halfway to second base. Throw still is close, but Devers is in there with a 1-out double. Little river monster for him, and that will do it for Kamar Rocker. So started off very nicely, but the last couple of innings, Red Sox have finally been able to kind of tee them up and get their timing down, and that will give way to Cole win. It'd be very fun if they Cole lost this game. 4 games so far this postseason, a 4.76 ERA, basically pitched every single game, it seems like. I forgot who they played in that first round, or the first 2 rounds, but he has been getting a lot of work. So far, got 1 out, trying to get Wong, and he does. Fisted inside, and Wong just harmlessly pops it up to first base, and that will do it for the 6th. So a Devers double turns into nothing, but we tied him in hits, I guess. So little victories. And we are going to call upon Garrett Whitlock, our all-star reliever, has pitched in 2 games, has gone 3 innings, and we're going to ask him to go give us a little bit of length here tonight. And with an 0-2 count with 2 outs, Whitlock throws a perfect 7th inning. To keep this one tied. So we're heading into the later stages of this one. It is 2-2 still. Who is going to come out on top? Whitlock in against Duran. Duran to Casas. Casas to Meyer. Meyer back to Tristan Casas in an inning double play. So we haven't seen much of the offense lately, but Whitlock, Garrett to Garrett. He gives us 2 innings and only lets up 1 base runner on the hit. Langford and Duran combined for this double play, and going to the bottom of the 8th with a chance to take this lead and bring in Phillips and close the deal. Don Raffaello, already 1 for 2 today. Make it 2 for 3. He has been absolutely on fire. And for most of his career, it's been some highs and then some lows. And right now, we're riding the high wave, which is exactly what we want in our 9 spot for us. That would be excellent. Duran asked to drop down a bunt. He does a good one. He can actually potentially beat this out. Estevez does get over there and get him out, but even Jaron Duran has to do a job. And win a tight game here in the 8th with Bregman, with Devers, with Casas looming. Get that runner to second base and let's ride. And Alex Bregman is going to be asked to get this guy in. Can he do it? 1-2 count. Watch out for the slider away. And it's a fastball away that Bregman does get a piece of. Rafaela is going to test the arm of Garcia. The throw comes in, and he is just in time. A very risky tag, but anytime you can get 90 feet in the playoffs, it matters. 1-2 count to Devers. And that's going to get away. Rafaela, he's going to come home. The throw is in time. Oh, so Don Rafaela, I understand the aggressiveness. Maybe a lesser bounce off the wall gets you there, but unfortunately the Rangers strike gold and get an out at home plate. Keep this one tied up. AJ Puck comes in for this pocket of lefties, And Josh H. Smith is going to put it into left field for a single with 2 down in the inning. So shout out Josh Smith. Shout out the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Maybe that's why he has the Josh H. Smith. He doesn't want people confusing him from the former NBA player. He took all the Pistons' money and laughed. And speaking of laughing, AJ Puck laughing at Adolis Garcia punches him out and keeps this thing 2-2. So, walk-off or extras, either way, it's looking to be a very, very, very fun game number 1 in this series. Rafael Devers hitting .267 with a 3-1 count. He's going to lay into this fastball left over the middle, hits it 103, and pops over the bullpen, and that will be a double to lead things off. Exactly how you want to handle it, but you can't help but wonder, hey, he does this in the last inning. It's a 3-2 win, and we're not even playing right now. God forbid we go into extras having to really use this bullpen. Tristan Casas. This is in a triangle. I told you to remember the last one because this one won't get caught. Tristan Casas, walk-off hero in game number 1 of the ALCS. Casas got all of that slider, sent it into the triangle, off the wall, hit it a little bit sharper than the one he got earlier. Again, I told you. Remember that. Remember what we saw here today. And it is a 3-2 Red Sox win. They beat the Rangers. And now we're going into the player lock portion of this video. One player on this roster got a lot of comps to Corey Seager coming into his career. And we are going to be following the path of Marcelo Meyer through the ALCS. So like we said, we are going to be player locking with Marcelo Meyer here. As we do in all playoff series, we have the first game of the series we play normally. Then we will player lock with a player until we get to potentially either Game 5 or a Game 7, in which we will play that Game 5 or Game 7. Whatever happens in the sim, happens in the sim. If we get blown out 18-4, but I play well in the sim, that is what it is. We used to do it that we would just sim these games at watch. Took a little bit too much time to edit. Ended up bulking up this episode. I think this is a nice little way. For those who have been watching the series, do you enjoy this way we're doing the playoffs? Do you enjoy the player lock in the middle games? Or for those who watch the Rocky series, if you haven't watched the Rocky series, go back and watch the Rocky series. If you're enjoying this series, I think you'll enjoy the Rocky series as well. Do you like how we handle the playoffs there? Where we basically, played the first game, played the last game, but in the middle we kind of just showed, basically just simulated CPU on CPU, but showed the whole game and cut it up like it was a regular game. I find this a little more better, makes the series go by a little bit faster, and it's also easier for me to edit and do whatever. I don't have to wait for all of these games. Either way, Sandy Alcantara, Dylan Cease, the Cy Young Award winner from this past season, versus Cy Young hopeful coming into the year. Double by the Rangers, nothing comes of it. Bregman walks Devers, 2-run home run. Sandy gives one right back, and now it's the first at-bat for Marcelo Meyer here in the sim, hitting 300 with a 962 OPS so far in this postseason. A 1-2 count. Cease is going to give up a dribbler up the middle. Meyer is not quite fast enough as Duran makes a real nice play. That was a real slick play by Ezekiel Duran, and it is still 2-1 Red Sox in the lead. 1-2-3 inning for Sandy, 1-2-3 inning for Cease. Leadoff double by Sandy Alcantara. We're going to jump in here. Josh Young, 0-2 count, trying to bring the run in. Still batting cleanup for the Rangers, yet is way better against lefties, and this is going to hit right at Meyer, who flips on to first base in time, 1 down in the inning, keeping that runner on second base. Strikeout, then a pop out, a single and a walk, a double play, however, and still a 2-1 game by the time Marcelo Meyer comes back into the box. 1-2 count. This time lifts it high, not quite too deep as Meyer just ahead of the sweeper, and he is 0 for 2 on the day. jumping forward now. Leadoff single, walk single in the tie ball game. Bring in Michael Kopech, and he does get 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Leadoff single for the Red Sox, nothing to show of it. We're really riding Kopech here. Slayton comes in as we're already in the 8th, and the Rangers take the lead off a Josh Young solo home run. And then it is Robert Garcia, the lefty, freezes Marcelo Meyer with a fastball. Got to, be ready for the slider outside, and he just wasn't ready to pull the trigger on this fastball that sat in a pretty hittable spot. Brock Burke is up, gives the walk, a single, a fly out. Garrett Whitlock gives up a run, and we are down 4-2. 2 singles, however. Another single, bases loaded. Marcelo Meyer with a chance to win it after the walk brings in a run against Austin Adams, former friend Austin Adams, I believe. Meyer gets the fastball, times it up, but just under it. Lazy pop. Oh, that would have been so nice to have back-to-back walk-off wins. Again, we did everything we could. I mean, we timed it up. Again, that's what happens when you use the ratings to really... I guess I could use the PCI, but I'd be way worse with the PCI. I'm not good with it, but that's how the cookie crumbles. We use the ratings. We let the players dictate the outcomes of the game. I timed it up, did everything I could. It just didn't get good wood on it like you thought. Alcantara was okay, not quite Cy Young, but not quite bad. Just offense scored, had a home run in the first and went quiet since then. Had a late rally with a bases loaded walk in the 9th, but just couldn't put him away. And the Rangers this time eke out a close one. They tied the series up 1-1, heading over to Globe Life Field now as we go to, we're from Texas. Shout out Big X, the plug. So is what it is. Let's move right on, and we're going right into game number 3. Third game. First game on the road, trying to close things out in Texas. Again, we've been on this stretch where we can just kind of roll through victories, and we rolled through with the Yankees, won our first 4 postseason games. This is the first one we lost this past game. Try to get back up on the horse and come away with a W if we can. And I think that we can. I would love for us to, maybe I should say. But Marcelo Meyer has gotten a lot of comps to Corey Seager in his life. With the left-handed stroke, a bigger shortstop, maybe a better fielder than Corey Seager ever was. But definitely, I don't think even if he hits his 90 percentile, will become the hitter. But you do see the comparisons, and that's why I thought it was appropriate to have with these 2 guys going up against each other to show kind of the dichotomy between the 2. Seager has been a 2-time World Series MVP, a playoff phenom. You saw that big hit by Meyer in his first real true, or second real true playoff run. Last year was still up and down. Still not playing much against lefties, but we are confident in what he can bring to us on a day-to-day basis. And Zach Gallen going here, a 1.42 ERA in the postseason. Definitely a better story than what he did in the regular season, where he won the World Series, not the World Series, the Cy Young last year. This year had an ERA closer to 4 or so. Just really wasn't cutting it the way he has been cutting it in his career. Tanner Houck gets the pill in game 3, and Myers going to watch this one go over his head. He will set up, and it's going to be a leadoff single for Ezekiel Duran. I think he goes by Duran, too. I think he's Ezekiel Duran. I think Yohan Duran for the Twins. I don't know if he's playing for the Twins still in this series. Roman Anthony, 2-run home run. A walk by Rogers, and we're trying to keep the good times rolling. Marcelo Meyer looking for his first hit since that double in game number 1. And he gets a pitch, 2-hit, knuckle curve just late on it, however, and lazily pops it up into left field, and 2 down for the Sox in inning number 2. Meyer trots back. We go back to the sim. Ground out, fly out, double line out. How keeps things steady. Another single for us as 2 hits apiece for both sides. A walk by Roman Anthony sets up Meyer with 2 down in the inning. 0-2 count. Zach Gallen, who had him really early on the knuckle curve of the pitch before, Gets him early on the circle change this pitch, and Marcelo Meyer cannot do anything with it. Couple of good swings, but for the most part, other than game one, hasn't been much of a factor. And here come the Red Sox. Bases loaded, nothing. Nothing comes of it. Here's how the starters have worked so far. 6 strikeouts, but 4 walks for Gallen in this one, including those 2 runs. Tanner Houck has been pretty lights out for the most part. 1-2 count, and it's going to be all right. Marcelo Meyer getting some jumps in for some reason. Try to dive, but hit the wrong button. Hand up, that's on me. And leadoff base hits for Berger. A walk puts 2 on, and Evan Carter, who is DHing against right-handed pitching. His ceiling is kind of capped as long as he doesn't hit lefties too well, and he really doesn't. Myers going to go to 2 for 1. They're going to have to really turn one to get that speed going down first base, and they can't. So they get the not the lead runner, but the runner going into second base, but can't get Carter. Walk him full, and then a fly out keeps the Rangers off the board. 3-2 count. Marcelo Myers. Cole Winn has come in to replace the starter again. Second night they've used him in an extensive role, and Marcelo Meyer lifts a slider over the bullpen, and a home run for Marcelo Meyer, his first of this postseason. Winn gave him a slider down and away, a pretty good pitch, but just caught too much of the plate, and Meyer pays him back with a 411-foot blast on a line. Just really went down, and that's where you see the Seager, where those hips turn and those hands come through the zone. That's where you see Seager. And we're trying to beat Seager here, and so far, no runs on the board for Texas. Devers, another 2-run home run. He has about 3 or 4 of those already in this series, or I think 2 of them at least. And then Meyer, chopper on the ground to his left-handed hitting shortstop counterpart that he's drawn so many comparisons to over the years. And that will do it for the inning. So 5 runs on 9 hits as we head to the bottom of the 7th, trying to reclaim the series lead. Try to go up 2 games to 1. Garrett Whitlock, first pitch triple. And that brings up Evan Carter again. And I think in my head I wanted to move forward just in case this is a softly hit ball. I can go home with it. But even then, a softly hit ball going to first doesn't quite get Carter. So it's an infield single for no fault of anybody other than Evan Carter's just the fastest man alive. And I remember in the moment, I want to creep up here. And maybe should have. Is already now it's 3-5, and it's an ugly inning for the Red Sox pitching staff. But good thing we put up 2 in the 7th. They put up 3 in the 7th. In the 9th, they're not going to get a chance to bat again. Evan Phillips, 1-2-3. And the Red Sox take 2-1 series lead against Texas. And a big part of that was the home run by Marcelo Myers. He went yard. And real nice showing for the Red Sox. They put some runs kind of more throughout this game. A clunky 7th inning for us defensively and on the pitching side of things. But for the most part, Houck was great. 6 innings, 6 Ks, 2 walks, 4 hits, no earned runs. Roman Anthony was 3 for 4 with a home run and a couple RBIs. Zach Gallen only went 4 innings, I think it said, and picks up the loss. And Evan Phillips gets his first save of the postseason, but he has been awesome all season long. It's going to be a decision whether we keep him around this offseason, but I'm sure we're going to throw whatever bag he wants. And the Red Sox take 2-1 series lead. Back in Texas for Game 4, where again we can really pull away from these losers with a nice win here. They're throwing the lefties, so in this game we will be player locking with Rodolfo Castro. Again, Marcelo Meyer, we're not throwing him against lefties all too often. He has the ability in game to hit it, but just with how good Rodolfo Castro is at hitting lefties, and also we have Weston Wilson, who's excellent against hitting lefties. Maybe next year or the year after, we really give Meyer the full time once his contract really sets in. I don't mind kind of platooning while we have that excellent platoon bat It's not like we're just bringing off a scrub who barely hits lefties better. If that was the case, we just kind of throw Meyer out there and let it ride. But Castro, and I still don't know why we use the Boston Strong uniforms as the Friday uniforms. It just isn't what happens. I don't know why the game decides to do that. They wear red on Friday. I know they used to wear the navies. I guess they just in the game coded these as the navies. I don't know. I'm not sure. But whatever. It is going to be the lefty on the mound, Cody Bradford. Fantastic first name and a pretty good season, a 3.53 ERA. That is pretty darn good. Devers gets a single, but is stranded there as almost a 1-2-3 inning for the Rangers. Tony Gonsolin is going to be on the bump for us today, and his first postseason action. Didn't get a chance to pitch in that Yankee series, and has a chance to get a double play here, but that goes through the right side as Rogers can't get to it quickly enough, and it's 2-on to begin the game for Texas. Duran has hit for a nice average, hasn't done too much damage, but again, has hit for a nice average. The Rangers score 1, and here's Castro in his second game of the postseason to start the Yankee series against Max Fried, and he gets a slider over the middle and just puts it right back towards it came. A single for Rodolfo Castro and the Boston Strongs here on the road, which definitely is what happens in real life and what they do and all that fun stuff. Alex Bregman, a .292 hitter this postseason. He's been excellent. This is the reason why we got him here. And double play. We slide, can't break it up, and 5-4-3 double play is the result. Young, this is a tough play, coming in and then having to kind of turn around and throw it cross body while your momentum takes you kind of towards first base. Not an easy play. An error kind of sets off this 3-run inning for the Rangers. We do get a single, another home run, and Gonsolin has given up 5 so far. I don't think we've given up 5 at all to the Rangers so far in this series. 1 for 1 on the single for Rodolfo Castro. Trying to drive in a run here. Bradford still on the bump. So far has been excellent. Castro leans into one. High and deep center field, right at the track, at the wall. Reaches up and takes a home run away. But you can tell how deep that was hit because Costas is able to tag up from second base. There aren't many balls hit in really all of the major leagues that are that far that allow him to tag up, but I think this is Harrison Bader, one of the better defenders, and just gets there in time. Wouldn't have been a home run, but would have been an absolute baller hit. Johnny Turner in now as he gets his first postseason action with the not great performance from our good friend Tony Gonsolin, but now Castro's in a position where he can potentially tie this game or take the lead. Lefty on the hill. You have 2 on, 2 out. Castro, another hard hit ball, but this one right at Josh Young. Hit it 103 off the bat. And that's why we have him against lefties. The exit velocity against those southpaws just continues to be incredible, but unfortunately couldn't turn that into a run or runs there. Turner still working. A single, a stolen base, and 3 pretty good innings from Johnny Turner. And here come the Red Sox. Here we go. A walk after a single, a double, a single, whatever we got. Now the bases are loaded, and it is 5-5 with Bregman coming up with the bases juice. Austin Adams started the series with us. Didn't really pitch much for us. I think was traded or released or some point or whatever. 3-1 count, though, and Bregman, good eye, takes ball 4, and they walk in a run. We finally take the lead. A game where it looks like it was 5-0 Texas. And now with a 3-0 count, you can kind of guess what's going to happen here. Probably going to walk Rogers, and we're probably going to score another run. And Nate Eovaldi coming out of the pen. We always salute big face Nate Eovaldi, how good he has been for the Red Sox and how important he has been for the Red Sox in their World Series run in 2018. And now we got Roman Anthony in the 8th spot. Now against a righty. He can really hit righties. Even just 217, but had a home run last last game. And this time he's going to watch this one in the dirt. No go by anybody. Everyone retreats back. 3-2 count. Just one out. Castro waiting patiently on third base. Anthony looking for a big hit to really put this one out of reach. And he goes the other way with it. It drops. One run comes in the score. They just go station to station. It's 8-5. Red Sox now on a huge 7th inning as the offense doesn't get any more than that, but they did quite enough. And here so far, the recap of this game, Godson wasn't good. Cody Bradford was okay through 5. Langford's been good. Seager's been good. And obviously we've seen that 7th inning being really, really good for us and everything that we've done. Whitlock. He's back in there again. Has been one of our best pitchers all season. Castro can't quite get to it. And that's going to be thrown at second base. A leadoff single for Jake Berger. Again, would love a shutdown inning here. Keep things at bay. A single and a single scores a run. Another single comes in. Walked in a run. And now all of a sudden they have tied this ball game. Another day where we go out there and score. They respond. Castro responds, though, unties this game against the righty. I guess it doesn't matter who's pitching to him. If you're going to throw a pitch middle, he is going to pounce on it. And I think he even moves Devers up to third base, too. So Castro makes this 9-8 Red Sox as the Rangers trying to get past this inning. Hopefully just keep it at 1 run for their sake. Bregman up. Pops this one sky high. Is this going to be deep enough? I believe it will be. We will retreat back to first base. Whoever is on third moves up to score. It's 10-8. Rangers blowing this lead has been so fun for me to watch. If you're a fan of the Rangers and just have been watching the series because you're great in support and subscribe and like and all that fun stuff, you're not liking this. And I'm glad you're not liking this because I'm enjoying this thoroughly. And all my other Red Sox fans, we're loving this. As, again, we're trying to take a commanding 3-1 lead in Texas. With a chance at the World Series coming up. A shutdown inning for Slayton. Evan Phillips gives up a single, a walk, a strikeout, and a strikeout. Got a little dicey. But Evan Phillips in his 50 regular season saves locks down his second postseason save. And Rodolfo Castro had a great game, a couple of hits, a couple of loud outs, and really just teed off against the lefties, and ultimately was the difference. He hit the game-winning RBI, would make it 9-8. We added on one more, and then we held strong the last couple of innings. Great performance by a lot of our players, especially everyone involved in that little seventh inning rally. That was just great baseball all around. We strike again in the 8th inning. We score 7 runs in the 7th and 8th combined. Duran 2 for 6 with a couple of doubles, a couple of runs in this one. A notable offensive player, but it was just everybody. It wasn't one guy who had like 8 RBI or a 2 home run game. Everyone was just moving base runners over. 14 hits. We score 10 times. And again, that's just a perfect baseball game where you could point to 8 different guys and say they were the player of the game. They made an impact. Maybe a little biased. I think Castro did great with this couple of hits, including the game-winning RBI. But so many to pick from. And we're trying to close it down. They won 1 on our home turf. We're not trying to get them even a taste of victory at Globe Life Field. They want to stomp on the Rangers' hopes and dreams right here, right now. Holding in my arms. This could be one of those memories. Want to hold on to, cling to, one that we can't forget. Shout out Darius Rucker. I'm sure I said those lyrics positive, like 82% positive. Those are correct. They're going to skip Kumar Rocker start. They are desperate. They are throwing Dylan Cease. I love how they're doing that, by the way. Great job by the game, realizing, hey, this pitcher's better. He has energy. We're going to throw him. Garrett Crochet is in. We did have to move. Because we player lock, we can't set the lineup, so we did have to actually move the rotation around to get it set up this way. So that's fine. That's no worries. But I love how the CPU is not sticking to the schedule. Be like, all right, we're down 3-1. Dylan Cease is better than Kumar Rocker. Dylan Cease does have energy. We're going to throw him. I think that's awesome. And he's been pretty good. I think he got the win, or he didn't get the win, but he was the pitcher in their lone win of the series. He got Game 2 in Boston. 2.30 ERA, 13 strikeouts, and 15 2/3 inning. Could be wearing our colors and being on the right side of history, but no, he is not. Garrett Crochet does give up a run off a single by Seager, then a single steal, a walk, but he does get out of the jam. And here's Marcelo Meyer against Dylan Cease, hit .222, and he gets one off of Cease. This one is stung. It's same spot in his home run. This one's just going to lay down and be a double for Marcelo Meyer. He starts the third inning with a pretty big hit, put a runner in scoring position for the Bo Sox as Meyer comes through with a nice piece of hitting. That's that stroke that we think he can be a 40 to 45 doubles guy, especially once he rises in the batting order, once he gets a little bit better, and once our team kind of shapes out a little bit different. We can see Marcelo Meyer being a very important part of what we do towards the top of the line. There'll be a day where it's going to be Anthony Campbell Meyer, 1, 2, 3. I do believe it. I do foresee it. 3-1 count. It's going to be a walk for Jarren Duran, so we got some decent amount of speed with Meyer and a whole lot of speed with Duran. So something in the gap, something hit down the line that could score both of these guys. And Bregman, 0-1 count, trying to saw something through, and it's actually going to be a double play as he hits one to Young. And they go to second to get out Duran and to first to get out Bregman. And unfortunately, the quote-unquote rally we thought we were going to have stopped short right there. But we do get a double from Meyer. Nothing comes out of it. And we go back to the sim. Double by Duran. And then Crochet trying to get out of the inning. He hasn't been too on. And again, this is kind of more akin to his first game he had in this series where he's using a lot of pitches. He's working hard. He, give up a few hits here and there. Has some traffic on, but just trying to get out of it. Meyer just out of his reach. The throw comes into home, and Duran. It can't throw out Duran, and then Smith advances to second base, and just a tough play right there. Duran held up at third base, but saw what happened, went back, and they put up a 3 spot after a walk and a double. And now Brian Bayo is on as Garrett Crochet is out. Bayo, 2-run home run. He doesn't look too great. Brandon Rogers does get one back. It's 7-1. Meyer, opposite field, tracked down. No problem for the outfield in Texas. They get to that ball. Easy peasy. The lemons have been squeezy. And now we send to Simeon Woods Richardson, and this game's pretty much over. Especially with how good Cease has been dealing. We'll still check in, see what Meyer does, but we really haven't had these performances in the playoffs much, and it's, I guess, okay, we're getting it. Sucks it's on a Crochet day, especially with Gonsolin not doing great. Now you're kind of, you don't see Gonsolin again, and you still have Alcantara and Houck to go in Game 6 and maybe Game 7 if we get there. Hopefully we don't get there, but I think that's the beauty of having both Crochet and Alcantara kind of be in the spot. It's like Crochet's probably the better pitcher, and maybe a top, definitely a top 3 pitcher at least in the game, both ratings-wise and just how he plays. And then if you're like, all right, you have a game like this where you lose and you're down 10-1 and you want to pull your hair out, it's like, all right, well, you have the Cy Young winner from this year ready to go the next game. So the ultimate rally killer for another team. The only way, and then it's like they can only get 2 games with the way Houck's been playing. Like it's not an easy time either. And then Gonsolin's the only one to really show some weakness in the rotation. That was only 1 game, and it was still, I think, 5 innings, 3 earned. Like, not crazy. We do have a nice little rally here going. We do score a couple. But nothing really too big. Meyer will get one last at-bat and try not to be the last out of the game again. Remember, his bases loaded, down by 1 against Austin Adams in the 9th inning. in Fenway in Game 2, and this one, a fastball inside. He just couldn't lay off of, pops it straight back, and Kirk is there. But like I said, this was a shitty game. We just get our doors blown out, is what it is. But like I mentioned, you can rest easy tonight knowing that in a couple days when Game 6 is played in Boston, you got the Cy Young Award winner rearing and ready to go. And that's, I think, a difference that a lot of teams don't get to say they have. And, yeah, it is what it is. It sucks that this game happened the way it did. Cease was awesome. 9 Ks in 6 2/3. That's the kind of guy he is. That's why we try to sign him. Crochet did have 6. I think it's at 6. It might have been 8 Ks through 3, which is crazy. I think it was 6. But only went 3 innings. And we're saving him. He should be ready to go in a Game 7 situation if need be. But, yeah, not the greatest showing, but you're not going to win them all. You're especially not going to win them all convincingly. And the Rangers won this one convincingly, but I think we have what it takes to win this game here. Game 6, back at the Fens. Red Sox up 3-2 against the Texas Rangers. Almost at Houston Astros for some reason. I don't know. I'm feeling very nostalgic for 2018 right now. Red Sox in real life make me want to die. They just beat the Yankees last night. Yes, I'm recording this day it comes out. But I don't know. This team sucks. I want 2018 back so much. Easily the best year of my life. Here's how it's gone. Close game, close game, close game, close game, blowout. Every game decided by 1 or 2 runs, except for this last one. So I think the Rangers actually have scored more runs than we have, yet we're up 3-2, which is weird. Zach Gallen back on the bump. Sandy Alcantara going, the last 2 Cy Young Award winners here dueling in Game 6. And I think, like we said, how we have that Crochet into Alcantara, not many teams have that. Texas has that. They just went Cease. Now you got to go right back into Zach Gallen. So it's kind of the immovable object versus unstoppable force, where it's like, yeah, our offense needs to get going, and they don't have a really good answer against Gallen. And Alcantara come in and kind of silence anything that the Rangers bats have done. So I think it's like first to 3 wins this one. I think that's what it's going to be. And we start off with 2 singles. A single, we get the 1. A double makes it 3-0 in the first. And by my logic, we have this game already wrapped up. Will it stay true? Who knows? Marcelo Meyer, his first swings against Gallen, who diced him up in game number 3 in this series, I believe. Yeah, the first game in Texas. It wasn't until they switched Gallen out where Marcelo Meyer had that home run over the bullpen. But he strikes out on the knuckle curve. Alcantara doing God's work right now. 7 up, 7 down. And Harrison Bader, as Meyer flicks to first, makes it 8 up, 8 down. So far, so good for Sandy. And gets through the first time of the lineup unscathed. Takes until Duran. He gets a double, but then everyone else promptly sat down in order. Don Rafaela, who's on deck, trying to get to him. As Meyer, other way, this is heading towards the monster in a leap. And Wyatt Langford brings it back in. And robbery. Just, that speed to get there. Not many center fielder or left fielders are getting there. And then that little leap, that Benintendi leap right against the wall. That should have been a double, or at least a long single, setting up Rafaela for sure. Sandy and Gallen both settling in as we're already in the 6th inning. And those 3 runs Boston scored in the bottom of the first inning, the only really thing that's happened in this game. Langford, as it's hit towards Costas, knocks it down, but can't get it over to first base in time. Now you got 2 on. You got Duran, Seager, Young coming up, and a double play gets him out of the jam. Colwyn in again, hits the first guy he sees, but 1, 2, 3's the next crop. And then Adolis Garcia, 0-2 count, top 7. Alcantara, only 84 pitches. He can go 4 days as Garcia. Meyer is there to field it cleanly, takes his time over to first base. And we have shut out the Rangers through 7 innings. Meyer due up second in this next half inning. See if Rogers can get on base for him, and then Rafaela to follow after Marcelo. Strikeout, and then Austin Adams again. The third time these two have faced off, and that's a nasty pitch. It's just a nasty pitch. It is what it do be. Marcelo strikes out. That's just a filthy pitch. There's not much you, us, them, Jesus could do about it. Just was put in the right spot. Still haven't scored, but neither have the Rangers. Trying to add on in the 8th. Evan Phillips comes in for the 9th. Fourth pitch of the inning to Ezekiel Duran, who is 1 for 3, and just one of the couple of hits the Rangers have mustered up so far has belonged to him. He pops it straight up. Meyer readjusts. 1 down. Trying to lock it up and go to the World Series. A walk and a double, a single. Justin Slayton, with the bases loaded, strikes him out. And the Red Sox are going back to the Fall Classic. Back-to-back years, they have done it. Your 2027 American League champions. A talented team, which I think is maybe even better than last year's squad. The addition of Brendan Rodgers has helped, kind of forming out that lineup, really making sure there are no holes in it. Jordan Walker being out sucks, but Roman Anthony has proved to be really good in this postseason, and we will be finding out what we're facing in just a minute. But for the second straight year, your American League champions are the Boston Red Sox. Back to the World Series, and this time we'll be facing a new foe, the Atlanta Braves. Looks like they have taken down the Dodgers in a grueling 7-game series. Let's look at what it took. Actually, let's go this way. Yeah, well, we're already here. Shout out the Rockies. 48 wins. Our Colorado Rockies. So here's how the series went. Atlanta beat them in Game 1, and then it was the Dodgers in Game 2 and 3. Dodgers, or the Atlanta Braves, tied it up. And then it was the Dodgers took a 3-2 lead going back home. They lost that one 7-3. And it looks like into the bullpen is what did it. And then 8-5, which again, it looks like it was the bullpen. We viewed the box score. Excuse me. It looks like, Shohei went in this one, and yeah, it was Tanner Scott, Landon Nat giving up 6 runs in the late innings. Looks like it went to extra innings. I wish they had the running score up top. And then if we view the box score here, it says David Bednar picked up the loss. And yeah, here late in the innings again, 3 runs. That is crazy. The Dodgers blew it multiple times while the Braves came through and won it. And we're going to be taking on the Atlanta Braves, I guess a rivalry. I mean, both of these teams played in Boston back in the from the 50s and before then. Now in Atlanta, we have a new challenge. Let's see who comes out on top. Battle of the Red Sox and the Braves coming soon. Looks like we will have home field as Atlanta, they won. A's. They ended up winning 85 games. Again, they came in here as the 3 seed, we the 1 seed. We will see you next time here with more Red Sox baseball. Like, subscribe, World Series coming up next.